Здравствуйте, guys. We are here in the middle of nowhere, Kyrgyzstan. I'm in an empty field, basically like an hour and a half outside of Bishkek to the east, and we are here to see the Burana Tower, which is this kind of ancient stopping place along the Silk Road. It's one of the most famous things you can see here in the country. There's not a lot of ancient history here because these people are nomadic, but we're gonna check out the Burana Tower. We're gonna show you, so come along. Before we get to today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can support me on Patreon too. The link is right here. Let's do it. So it's the early summer here in Kyrgyzstan, and this area is just absolutely gorgeous. When you get out of the major cities, it's just open fields and mountains with snow on the top. It's probably one of the most beautiful countries I've ever seen anywhere. This country is 94% mountainous, which makes it super idyllic. You've got these beautiful red flowers, look at those. And you've got just rural animals, you know, grazing. Just walking in this area is crazy because the Silk Road is basically extended from mainland China all the way to Europe, and people would cross these mountains in order to trade culture, spices, and all that good stuff. And people just walked, or they took caravans with oftentimes horses or camels. You can find camels in the south of Kyrgyzstan, and I hope I could show you that in a future video. But it's just wild. I couldn't imagine wandering, and then all of a sudden building a caravanserai or an old trading post, or the Burana Tower, which was a minaret of an old mosque. So let's go see this tower in the middle of nowhere. So the story of this place is that there were always Turkic people living in this region, and there were Turkish dynasties as well. These people that owned a large swath of land from basically the entire Central Asian region. There was a dynasty called the Karahanid dynasty, and they were around during about the 10th century. And they were the first Turkic dynasty to convert to Islam. So what this is, the Burana Tower, is the oldest basically minaret part of a mosque. The mosque was destroyed during an earthquake a long time ago, but it's the oldest minaret in Central Asia. And this used to be a place where Muslim traders from east to west, from China to Rome, Rome to China, used to stop and used to exchange culture, religion, and many things. So this was like a hub for cultural exchange, and it still is. People still come here from all over the world to see this minaret, and it's kind of unbelievable that it's still standing, but the more unbelievable part is probably that, I mean, there's really nothing. There's nothing here. The fact that people could get here, that they understood how to get here and to locate it on a long road from China to Europe is really unbelievable. And it's in this really interesting style. So let's go take a closer look. So the cool part about the Burana Tower is that you can climb to the top of it still, which I'm sure would never happen if this was in the United States. And this was once the site of an ancient city called Bala Salmun from the 9th century. So we're gonna see what they saw all those years ago. All right, let's get in there. Ooh, it's very chilly in here. Also very dark. All right, so here we are at the top of the Burana Tower. It's 82 feet high. You know, substantial, but not that bad. But you get a crazy view. So this is Kyrgyzstan. I mean, during the summer, super beautiful. You might have to imagine during the winter, this is like ice covered and hellish. But the cool part about the Burana Tower up here is we got all kinds of graffiti, and it's a lot of Cyrillic graffiti. So Americans are not the only people defacing stuff when they travel. So over here is probably the remnants of what was once some sort of fort or castle from many years ago. Over here are some carved stones that are quite popular to visit with like little faces on them. So we'll look at that. And down here is the traditional Kyrgyz yurt. So tower is now back here, and we're now looking at pre-Islamic figures that were built from the 6th century to the 10th century. These are certainly not Islamic figures because building idols like this to people is not typically allowed. But very cool. We can see this guy's holding a goblet, and he's got a nice little mustache. These faces are interesting, and we noticed a lot of the people here are holding chalices or goblets. So maybe they were some type of kings or warlords that used to rule over this wild Turkic land back in the day. So over here we have the remnants of some Islamic graves from who knows how long ago. It's written in Arabic, and what's crazy is that the language and the religion spread so far through missionaries, through the Silk Road, and through caravans, all the way here to Kyrgyzstan, which is thousands and thousands of miles away from the Arabian Peninsula. I've discovered an old Soviet-era shack built here with maybe the coolest view in Kyrgyzstan. It's abandoned though, I assume. Yes, quite abandoned. This is a really wild place. It's really intense being someplace that's so inconsequential but yet so historically valuable. It's just a tower in the middle of nowhere, but it holds so many stories, so much history. So many people have been through this area. It's just wild. It's really wild. Maybe the last but coolest part of this place is that this is a traditional Kyrgyz yurt. A yurt is this kind of nomadic tent that they used to live in while they would move across this land. But this is the gift shop. So you can go inside, you can buy yourself some postcards, some other stuff. There's a nice little lady in there. But Kyrgyz yurt. And the cool part is on the top of the yurt, they have a specific design, which is actually the center of the Kyrgyz flag. And that's gonna do it for today, guys. The tower in the middle of nowhere in the beautiful part of Kyrgyzstan. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to let me know. Comment below. Das Vidania, bros.